Hello, this is Thomas Hofstetter. I'm joined by Maggie and Melissa again for, I think, Just Some Points 18. So anxious to hear again what we all bring to the table. Melissa, why don't you get started today?
Sure. So today I was doing a lot of research, and it's nothing, latest newsworthy or announcement worthy, but I do think it's really important to bring up that there are so many alternative search engines to Google, and I don't think a lot of people realize how many search engines exactly there are. So I just kind of want to go through some of the big names and some of the different categories of search engines too. Obviously, Google is dominating the market, and not only is there Google, but Google owns YouTube, which is the second largest search engine out there. But the other search engine giants like Bing and Yahoo, while they only take up about 5 to 10% of the market, Bing actually contributes a lot of their search powers to other smaller search engines out there. For example, there is one that it's called OneSearch, and it was actually just launched by Verizon. So when you think of a new search engine, you think, oh, they have their own algorithm and everything. It's actually powered by Bing. So and a lot of smaller ones are like that. A lot of the charity-driven search engines are also powered by Bing. I don't know if many people even know about the charity search engines out there. There's Give Water, where actually the searches and the profits of the searches actually help, provide water to some of the lesser countries without access to water.
And they're also driven by Bing?
Yes, and they're powered by Bing. Same with Ecosia, which only takes up about 0.1% of the market, but they're powered by Bing, and they have planted over 100 million trees with the profits that they were able to proceed. So, with all of these different options, Bing actually, when you think about it, they take up 7% of the market, but when you factor in all of the other smaller search engines that they control, that market share actually grows quite a bit.
That's so interesting. We talked about search engines on and off over since the beginning of Just Some Points. We talked about DuckDuckGo in the past, and also about Google's drive to change how they serve us as searchers, as customers. I'd say last week, and I searched stuff again for certain products, and I was so annoyed getting just served up what they want me to see. I knew that there are, for example, businesses in where I'm right now in the Adirondacks, and I was trying to find them. I could not find the businesses despite the fact I know that they exist here. Exactly. And it just showed me how much they control, and it's really just not objective anymore. They only serve up what fills their pockets. And so I'm delighted about the fact that there are more search engines actually coming up. I have to look into some of those. Yeah. I think I'm very intrigued by that.
Yeah, it's also important to note that a lot of search engines are very format specific. Like, you don't think of Giphy as a search engine, but it truly is. Giphy has 10 billion, GIFs in their library that people are searching for. So you have to find the right search engine for what you're trying to serve and what you're trying to get people to find.
That's a very good point. For example, I use Pinterest a lot as a search engine, especially for products, because I don't think I get products served up or the product variety on Google as I expect it to be. Exactly. And sometimes it's actually much better. I feel I get a more independent view on Pinterest searching for certain products. And then I have the pictures all of a sudden, and I get much quicker to the results I want.
Exactly.
So that's a very good point you make, that you really have to know what you want to search, and that might define actually where you go.
Right.
Oh, wow, interesting. Cool. Maggie, what do you have this week?
Yeah, so I'm going to talk about how Facebook recently launched a campaign called #WearAMask. So health authorities actually encouraged Facebook to help spread the word about the importance of wearing a mask. So they launched this campaign. So Facebook and Instagram are supporting the leading global health organizations on the hashtag WearAMask campaign to meaningfully impact knowledge, attitudes, and practices around mask wearing. So Facebook and Instagram launched alerts on the top of their platform to remind everyone to wear a face covering based on the CDC recommendations. Mm-hmm. And they also connected more than 2 billion people to resources from health authorities through their COVID information center that they have available. So now Facebook is asking the community to get involved, which is why they launched the hashtag WearAMask campaign. So in order to get involved, you can post on Facebook or Instagram with the hashtag WearAMask, or you can share guidance from your local health authority and engage with your community. Mm-hmm. So they're kind of trying to take a step forward by encouraging people to use this campaign so it'll be seen all throughout Facebook and Instagram and bring more awareness to it.
That's interesting. With Facebook, I'm always cynical, and I'm right. Thinking about what do they want to get out of it, and why are they doing that? So while in general it sounds like the right cause or a good thing, mm-hmm. I always, again, with them, I'm always cynical. The other thought I would have with that one is, how do they measure? It would be interesting to see how they want to measure the impact. Mm-hmm. So
I would also be curious to see how brands get involved too. Like, I know we talked a week or two ago about the Instagram Reels, and instantly brands really took that feature and made it their own and really kind of used it to brand themselves and to promote themselves on there. So I wonder if this is going to be a similar situation where brands somehow incorporate this campaign into what they're doing on social media.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point too. I haven't thought about that. Well, it'll be interesting to see. I'm not a huge Facebook user, as you can tell, so I haven't witnessed it myself. But it's certainly, again, on the surface, it sounds like a great idea. Mm-hmm. Especially if local communities would get behind it too, and then they can engage more. So we'll see.
Right.
Very interesting. Since we're in the second half of the year, I thought. I want to talk a little about some trends I've seen and budgets for 2021, because most large organizations, they started the budgeting process already for next year, and there's some interesting trends to see, and so I thought it might help some people make the decisions going to next year. One interesting trend, and I'm not surprised about that, is the biggest line item in marketing budgets for next year is technology, marketing technology, or technology related to marketing, with about 26% of the budget. And then it could be anything, any systems, analytics, social media management systems, or reporting systems, or campaign systems. But it's really just systems we are entering more and more the marketing budgets, and we can certainly attest to that because, especially what you guys do every day, everything we do, you need systems for it. So that's interesting. Mm-hmm. Another trend is a general trend is bringing work in-house, meaning away from companies like us, those agencies. But that really depends on the industry. For example, travel and hospitality went just the opposite, meaning they, for quite obvious reasons, they laid off a lot of people and they rely more on service organizations. Business services, companies that focus on business services brought a lot in-house and will continue to bring more in-house. When they do bring services in-house, it's mostly related to social media and creative. Mm-hmm. That's the general trend. Healthcare, you've seen both, but from our perspective, we've seen a lot of furloughs and layoffs. What we've seen in healthcare is a reduced activity overall, and then they just changed the mix of what they have in-house versus externally. But 34% of all organizations reported layoffs in marketing, and 68% have a hiring freeze. So it gives you an idea that bringing services in-house is actually not quite as easy for organizations if they're on a hiring freeze or if they're laying off people. So that usually results in a shift of focus or number of activities. The second biggest line item on people's budgets or on companies' budgets is digital marketing. Again, no surprise, certainly no surprise to you, Melissa and Maggie, because it's what you're doing every day. But 13.5% of all budgets in average are we spent on digital marketing. The least channel, and we talked about that actually a couple of weeks ago too, is event marketing. Although that might grow again more towards digital events, in which case you could argue that is then becoming part of the digital marketing budget. But event marketing is receiving the least funding in budgets going into next year. And the majority estimates that there will be an overall increase in budget within the next 12 months. And then also that digital will continue to grow. And then again, that's what we're seeing. It's what we've been reporting over the last few months, and just some points, with TV and traditional marketing going backwards. Although there are interesting trends on the billboard marketing too. So, yeah, so it's interesting. Hopefully, it would be helpful for people who are working on budgets.
Yeah, I think you make a good point with the event marketing. Digital marketing has been growing for a while, and I think with event marketing dying down just because we physically can't have events, all those events will probably be virtual now, which would also increase digital marketing as well. So I think those are interesting points. Yeah.
Yeah, and it will be interesting to see if it will be considered as being part of digital marketing, where in the past it had its own channel.
Right.
And in the future, event marketing might just become a subcategory of digital marketing.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, okay. I hope this was interesting, helpful for everybody viewing System Points. Hopefully see you next week.